shot as he began kicking off his new tour at a university in Utah. We have confirmed through witness accounts and some pretty graphic footage that Mr. Kirk was injured what appears to be very terribly. We have heard from a witness on scene, Lise, who just joined us, that Mr. Kirk was taken backstage. So hopefully we will be hearing more updates about his situation. We do know that earlier at least one suspect was taken into custody, but then later we've been hearing updates from not be in custody. So it's been a very fluid, but this violent crime took place in front of a lot of very, very young people. And hope that everybody has managed to get out okay and that they are going to be getting the support that they need. We had Lise on the line with us earlier, and she said that she was still stuck in traffic trying to get away from the university. Thankfully, she was uninjured and she was able to get some support as well from a friend over the phone. But what a scary situation to be in. We mentioned earlier that there was a very graphic, very sudden attack. And hopefully we will be getting more information.
Is Lise still on the line?
Yes, I am.
Oh, she's there. Okay, cool.
I'm here.
Okay, so Lise, really fast, I had to start a new live stream link, unfortunately. Could you describe to us what happened?
I was just sitting there listening to probably like the second Christian person after they come up and asked about trans being able to buy guns, their own guns, and Charlie Kirk was explaining why he did they should be able to, and right in the middle while talking, heard and saw at the same time the gunshot slumped over, and what was actually not his neck, I know it's family show, but and then I just went to the ground. I was there with my daughter and son-in-law and grandbaby, and I saw my daughter over the stroller. I didn't realize my son-in-law had taken my grandbaby into a building, so and I saw the guy turn himself in, and I didn't for a second.
Is your family all right?
Yes, everybody's fine. I only heard one gunshot, so I can't imagine anyone else got hit.
Okay,
And
now,
I would have known at the time.
apparently Glenn Beck, who I know is good personal friends with Charlie Beck, can you confirm what Glenn Beck said? This would be very, very good news for everybody involved if what he supposedly is saying is true. I look right here, see that comment right there? I don't want to read it out loud and give people false hope.
Yeah, so Glenn Beck is posting on Twitter that he is hearing, reading slowly here, he is hearing that Mr. Kirk, Charlie Kirk, has been stabilized. However, he also then immediately says after the fact that he prays it is true. So we do want to emphasize here that until and unless we hear updates from law enforcement, these are not official updates, because the people who are going to be hearing those updates first are Mr. Kirk's family.
Yes.
Mr. Kirk's family and law enforcement are the ones who are going to be receiving this information first. Everyone else, as the public and as the media, we are tertiary to all of that. So updates are going to be very slow. So we will see. We have not really heard, besides you, Lise, that is actually our latest official update on Mr. Kirk's condition is from you.
Now, Lise, can you tell us, was there any kind of chatter about any violence against Charlie Kirk going on locally? Was there anything that would have indicated it may have not been a safe environment for him? What was the atmosphere before this all happened? Was it run-of-the-mill, a guy who was just showing up on campus? Like, is there any other insight you can give us into the atmosphere and what it was like?
I didn't see anything. The protesters were up above the stage. They were central to the stage, and I think they kept moving him to, it would be Charlie Kirk's right, the stage facing out. They kept sliding them down, and the crowd would kind of yell at them, kind of in a friendly opposition, and they would kind of yell back a couple times before this all happened. So, I don't know, I was just someone in the crowd there to see Charlie Kirk.
Okay. And would you say that I mean, I'm not expecting you to be a forensic expert or some kind of military expert. Would you say you felt like he was in a vulnerable scenario? Which, I mean, obviously we've seen the video, so the answer is yes. But would it be extraordinarily vulnerable in comparison to other events you've gone to or anything like that?
Well, I've never been to his event, but, I mean, he was in his canopy like he always is. And there was, you know, the courtyard sloped up, seating sloped up, and then there's buildings. Campus buildings all around. I imagine there's rooftops everywhere.
Okay, and that's what I was going to ask you. What was the police presence like when you showed up? What were the security measures? Were they obvious and myriad, or was it kind of slim, or maybe possibly secretive? Like, describe the scene. What the police presence was like.
There were some cops. Where I was at, it was in. So Kirk was on the stage. He turned 90 degrees to the left. That's where I was, the front row of the seating. And where I was at, I could stand up and look, and we could see when he arrived. And so cars would pull up, we'd get excited, and finally, he actually didn't pull up in a car. He came from around the wall. And so we could see that. There were cops down there. I didn't see a whole lot of cops. I mean, they're kind of walking around in the crowd. I did see a guy in a black shirt with an earpiece. That I thought, oh, I wonder if he's security.
The UVU spokesperson Scott Trotter has released a statement wherein he said that a suspect is not in custody. We had some conversation about that earlier, but now we do absolutely can confirm there is no suspect in custody. If you're seeing video of someone being detained, that was true. Someone was detained, and from what Lise was saying earlier, that man came forward saying, "Hey, shoot me, shoot me." That man is not believed to be the shooter. So we are getting a lot of people kind of sending us videos of
That
this
could
guy.
just be mental illness. That happens all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So just as an update, once again, from UVU, we do know that a suspect is not in custody, and as you are looking around receiving updates, that if you're getting video of this older gentleman being taken to the ground, according to the university, that is not the shooter.
Okay. And I'm actually telling my team right here to please change the name of the stream because I'm operating off of my phone here. The name of the stream should be, I hate to say this, but Charlie Kirk's been shot. And if the rumors are true, and we cannot say it as anything other than rumors, if the rumors are true that he is getting stabilized in a local surgical center, that would be an absolute miracle based off of what you and I saw.
So I actually do have an update on that. So
Okay.
Turning Point USA Chief Marketing Officer Marina Milnes has weighed in with CBS News and has stated that Mr. Kirk is at the hospital and that he was shot in the neck. It does not give us anything on his condition, but it has confirmed that at the very least he did make it to a medical center.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing I'm saying is that he's in critical condition, which obviously I think is pretty self-explanatory.
We've seen the
But
video.
nothing official, yeah.
Okay. And then for those of you guys that are just joining us right now, very popular political commentator, a commentator who we actually carry here at AM 1220 and FM 98.1 KHTS, has been shot while doing a Prove Me Wrong series. A series where he tackles all kinds of heated third rail issues, if you want to call them that, in front of large crowds, generally on campus. He began his career doing Campus Reform, I think was the name of the organization originally, or whatever preceded Turning Point USA.
It was back in 2012 he started that.
Yeah. So whatever he was doing before, I don't remember the name of that organization, but it quickly became Turning Point USA. That's what he's known for, and it's what he's done for over a decade. Similar to Steven Crowder's Change My Minds series, he tackles all kinds of hot button issues, usually behind enemy lines, for lack of a better term, because
From the brief videos that we've seen, I'm looking at one right now over my shoulder, and there's hundreds of students, I would assume most of them students, running for safety.
Well, students or people like Lise who came to
Right.
see what's going on. Yeah, this has just been a very difficult situation, what with so little information coming out, which you have to realize that part of that is a safety thing for exactly this situation. I mean, there's a reason why that they delay getting information out to the media, and it's for situations like this. Where is this shooter? How are they getting information now? Answer, they're going to be listening to the media.
Sure.
So if law enforcement speaks to us and we just blab our mouths out all over the place, you're going to
He's running down Fifth Avenue.
You're going to have another Unix situation.
There's a
on
cop
your
on 16th. Go left.
Absolutely. So there is going to be partially an artificial delay of information getting out to the media, just to make sure that when you do have a criminal at large like this, that they aren't being tipped off to everything that law enforcement knows. So I absolutely expect that we are going to have very little verifiable information released while law enforcement is trying to track this person down, which is frustrating for us, and I'm sure for our listeners as well. But you got to realize that while this guy is out and about, he's also a listener, and he's getting the exact same updates that you are.
Well, and certainly the scene is chaotic, to put it lightly, and these people are strapped. They were already there in attendance, keeping things safe, if you will, and they're already strapped as it is.
Okay, then just really fast for those that are just tuning in right now, we got a couple hundred more people that have jumped down. What can we say definitively for a fact that we know?
Well, we know Charlie Kirk was shot in what appeared to be the neck or upper torso, and it absolutely caused very serious damage. It appeared that the shot came from his right side and exited his left. So we do know a little bit while he was sitting at his Q&A table in the quad area. I'm calling it the quad because that's what we call our outdoor central area at our local campus. So that may not be what you know it as, but I'm calling it the quad. During his kickoff event for, is it the America Comeback Tour, I believe?
Yeah, and this was the first stop, by the way. He's got
very first stop.
15 different stops throughout the itinerary. This is the first location that he was at.
So there had been a little bit of controversy about him coming on campus, which we talked about it before. This is a very large campus. It is the largest, I believe, in Utah now.
Yep.
And so you had a petition that had been circulated that only really gathered around 6,000 signatures, which sounds like a lot until you actually consider the number of people who go to this university. So, Charlie Kirk is a political commentator. That inherently makes him a bit controversial. That's just how it is. So that had happened the day before. This petition had been circulated. He had just started this event, and then about 10 minutes after noon, he was shot in the neck. And according to our witness Lise, he was taken backstage by some of his security team, and everyone ran. We do know that an older gentleman who unfortunately was pantsed, and so you ended up seeing some of his LDS garb, apparently falsely came forward to claim that he was the shooter, but we are having officials from UVU saying that no shooter is in custody. So don't know what's going on with that, but it does appear to that elderly gentleman does not appear to have anything to do with this final answer.
So, and Lise, you had suspected originally based upon videos, I had said in an earlier live stream that it appeared to come from close quarters. Yet you said intuitively you feel this was, how far away from Charlie were you, and what was your impression as an eyewitness as to where this would have come from?
I don't know, maybe only 30, 50 feet. I would guess it was back of the crowd or behind the crowd, maybe on top of the building or something.
And
So, nobody killed the shooter, so it would have been the crowd.
okay, interesting. Yeah, you would think that with such a press, as it says in the Bible, such a tightly knit group of people. I mean, you saw the video before everybody started fleeing. It was like standing room only at a Maroon 5 concert in like 2010. Okay, if somebody were to raise some kind of firearm to do this in close quarters, it does make sense that he would again get swarmed and swamped immediately. There are a lot of brave people in this world. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, but you also have to consider something else that we were discussing earlier, is that everybody dropped to the ground. Everybody dropped to the ground, and everyone was facing Mr. Kirk before this shooting happened. So if that gun is behind you or to your left, you're not going to see it. And then if you drop to the ground and the shooter does as well, there's not really much to notice.
And I don't see exactly how a rifle from on top of a building could do this, because he wouldn't be visible being underneath that tent. Like,
I don't know what the different angles were, the different vantage points would be.
Yeah. Okay. For those of you that are just tuning in, we're going to go over some of the videos again really fast here just to cover what's going on. Could you pull up some of those
Yes,
that we have
absolutely.
that are a little bit less graphic in nature?
Yeah, we'll see what we can do here. It's going to take me a minute. I've closed a lot
Okay.
of tabs. In the meantime, if we have any of our listeners who have any questions or have anything that they'd like us to go over again, we are absolutely more than, and the same goes for WardRadio listeners. If they have anything they'd like us to go over again, just to recap any of the
Yeah.
facts, we are more than happy to do it. We're going to be here for a while, and a lot has changed in the last, what time is it now? It's 1:18, and the shooting
Yeah.
happened about an hour ago at this point. I mean, we've got it where we thought there was someone in custody, and then there wasn't, and then it's been so different.
Okay, Lise, before you go, because I'm sure you're going to want to catch up with your loved ones and let everybody know you're okay and everything. We don't want to abuse your generosity and your time. Is there anything else that you have not seen spoken about in the media that you, like any additional light that you could shed on this?
Honestly, not. I don't think I see any little witness in the videos, but I'm hearing they're out there. I haven't seen any of them in a couple videos against that, and the videos the guys putting his stuff in. That's all I really saw.
Okay, so you were indeed able to confirm that somebody was yelling, I did it, I did it, I did it, shoot me, shoot me, shoot me. But we can't confirm whether or not he was actually the person. That could be mental illness. There could be 1,000,001 reasons why somebody might say that. People commit death by cop all the time. People say crazy stuff to try and get attention all the time. It seems like that person was indeed detained. There was a lot of hearsay and a lot of questioning whether or not it was a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints that had done that, because presumably based upon what he was wearing, he was obviously a member or had stolen some of the ceremonial garb of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But that person, we don't know if he's been released yet, but we do know that he has seemingly been ruled out by the logical conclusion that UVU stated that the suspect is still at large, which would lead us to think that, unfortunately, whoever shot Charlie Kirk, whoever took the, whatever they perceived as the law in their own hands to Charlie Kirk, is still out there. So law enforcement, I'm sure, is in the biggest mad dash they've had to try and find somebody since Lee Harvey Oswald was running around Austin, Texas, or Dallas, Texas.
You have to consider how complicated a situation like this is that in the aftermath of a shooting like this, what's the thing that we were talking about that everybody does? They run from the scene. And so if you're talking about a shooter who is also fleeing from the area, when you're talking about a crowd of hundreds, of not thousands, of scared kids and staff members, because these are kids, as we talked about before. I believe that we got stats earlier saying that about 8% of the student population is actually dual enrolled high school students. And that is so scary to think about, that there are so many children potentially on campus.
Like, there's some cops going along the road, so maybe they'll shoot at somebody, I don't know.
That's all we can hope for. But Lisa, I want to thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that you're able to link back up with your family and get some time to yourself, because this has been a horrible thing that you've had to witness, and I truly wish you the best. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for letting me share.
Hey, no sweat. Catch you later, Lise. Thank you.
Please, Charlie.
Yes, absolutely. I think that is a resoundingly agreed upon refrain here. Pray for Charlie Kirk. Thank you very much, Lise, for sharing what she was able to share. For those of you that are just tuning in, unfortunately, you've probably heard the news right now. Charlie Kirk has been shot at Utah Valley University, and there was a suspect who was detained but then seemingly ruled out, and the shooter seems to be still at large. Based upon video evidence, which we do not recommend that you guys go look at, or at least look at filtered evidence, it seems like he received catastrophic arterial damage to the neck. There's reports from Glenn Beck, and apparently sources that he has on the inside, who is a personal friend of Charlie Kirk's, obviously, that he has made it to a hospital, which we were able to confirm he made it to the hospital.
Yes.
JFK made it to a hospital, though, and was alive for, 7 to 8 hours, something like that.
Something like.
So,
All right, yeah.
We gotta go?
Yeah, we're going to take
break time.
Yeah,
Okay.
we are going to take another little bit of a break just to kind of
Absolutely.
reset ourselves. But in the meantime, absolutely, anybody over at KHTS, if you have any questions, please send us a message, put a comment in our live stream, and hopefully we'll be able to try to fill in any additional information. And I do have some unfortunate breaking news just to pop in here with. There is an active shooter at a Colorado high school where 2 students have been injured. So what a day. It's Wednesday, right? So let's go take that break. Let's have you and me, let's go get a little juice or something like that and take a moment to have a breather. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back with KHTS Radio in just a few minutes.
Okay, and WardRadio people, we're going to still hang out here. You guys get to see exactly how it works in the newsroom, and we're going to catch up with what we know and don't know.
That next
Yeah,
chunk
so-
into this one?
I may actually have to get my. Do I need to get my charger? I should get
Just
my.
about
What was that video?
Which one?
Just
The one-
All of it.
Yeah,
that
okay,
guy?
right
The
there.
one of
That's
that
fine.
kind. It looked like a man who.
Okay.
He's got one of the people ready for governor coming in.
That's what I figured when they did like.
Would you like to stay on with him, because he's gonna take it from the Christian point of view?
Sure, go for
Okay,
it.
and
We have
then
a
you
5-minute
guys
break
can go
right
out
now.
at 1:30. You guys
Okay.
are doing a great job.
Thank you.
All right, awesome.
5 minutes.
I hope this doesn't become some proxy war for anti-Mormon Christians
Well,
saying
see,
Mormons killed Charlie Kirk.
But here's the thing. Who's the one person that we know didn't do it? That guy.
That's true.
That is the one person we know who
Oh, so we've
did not do
upgraded from murderers to mentally ill. Yeah, that's great.
it.
Yeah, but anyway,
There's sickos everywhere.
Yeah, let me grab my laptop
Good
charger
job.
real quick. Thank
I don't know
you.
why the first stream failed, but
It's always when it's most important something breaks.
yeah. So guys, I'm here at the KHTS studio. We're going to be going live with another show called The Pastor in the Pulpit. I'm going to be hanging out, not the Pastor in the Pulpit,
Politics and the
Politics in the Pulpit, led by a pastor, Jerry Cook, I believe is his name, correct? Okay. Anyway, I'm just going to hang out here, and we're probably going to be talking about what we do know. If you guys have any questions, feel free to send them in a super chat, and we'll be able to answer them as best we can. Basically, was the old guy wasn't the shooter? Asks Jonah Clough.
No.
It seems to be that's what we've basically been able to confirm.
Yeah, we can kind of confirm that. Sorry, just trying to plug this in.
It's all good.
We can kind of confirm that just through the fact that they are saying that a shooter is not in custody, and we know that that older gentleman was taken into custody and at least detained. So they had him, and if the shooter isn't in custody, that means it's not him.
Okay, yes, exactly. So for those of you guys that are just joining us, because we see that we got another couple hundred people here, Charlie Kirk was just at Utah Valley University. If you're familiar with the university, the quad that is right in the center of campus there is where he set up his tent. You're going to be able to see it here in a second. And that quad is the main principal quad where basically the students hang out, and it's outside the big long hallway where people oftentimes line up with their promotional tents, they line up with their promotional videos. And he seems to have been shot from his right side
Which something
through his left side.
I'm gonna slow this down and then we can go through it again. But something to point out, we've all seen, as you said earlier, we've all seen CSI. Here's here. You can see up, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows, because we talked about it before. This is kind of in a natural amphitheater.
Yeah.
So knowing that, I don't know about you, but if you've been to, a concert that's in one of these natural amphitheaters, even with a cover like that, 2.5, even with a cover like that, you have a pretty good amount of view going out and up, which we
Okay.
talked about before. All these buildings do have roof access, and that's where everybody was watching from. We've seen that in expanded footage, as we've even seen in one of the more famous angles. But here we are coming up on the shooting itself. So this is going to be a little bit slow motion. It's not as violent, I'd say, as some of the other angles, but you do see a little bit of recoil here. So here we are, and it should be as he's leaning forward. Here we are.
Right there.
Wait.
And then he just leans forward, puts his
He
mic
gets
down.
himself set in there.
Oh, jeez.
Coming in a minute and a half.
All right, and
So
one
is
and a
Jerry
half.
coming in here too? Or one
Not
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
Go for about probably 10 minutes. We'll do that big.
Okay, and so as you see, he goes down. So that is something to keep in mind, is that we do have a very clear angle from, how far away would you say that is? 20, 30 feet?
Yeah.
20, 30 feet. And so looking at where that shot came from,
We might.
I'd argue that if I were Charlie Kirk,
That's what I was trying to get.
considering where we know the bullet
Yeah.
came out, I think it's over there. I think the shooter was almost from where the most famous angle is, from the distance one.
Yeah.
I think that is probably right around where one of the shooters.
And that's pretty similar to what
Okay.
Lise, who was on the phone with us, said as
Do at least
well.
that big
I'm gonna try to
chunk.
find
Which,
that other
which,
one.
by the way, there's no way
Okay.
that you could do a shot like that with just a handgun.
No, it had to be
This
right.
live.
That's
Go
and because
Figure it out.
where do you shoot if you're a trained shooter? For the back of the head and the neck.
So this
Yeah.
angle is the one that I'm talking about. But you see, look at the buildings.
We're coming in
Look at the
30
buildings.
seconds,
You have people from all around who are watching from all these different angles, backing up. But you see where this guy's standing?
Yeah.
If I can slow this down.
guys. Give them 10.
Because there's this
Yeah.
building that goes off that way.
That would we can at least get that 5 minute. What is that?
I'm not a betting man, but put me over. Put
Yeah.
that shooter over here somewhere.
Yeah, okay. we'll
And
do
I
that
think
4
that's what you're
minutes.
looking at.
Then we can figure out
Yeah, is that just a
switching,
bunch of
staying,
garbage?
whatever.
Okay.
Google
Yeah, we
that
don't. We
name.
do not have any
We're gonna
idea.
go
Yeah.
for probably about 10 minutes. Probably recap everything.
Okay.
Perfect.
Then we're gonna go on a break, and then we'll see if we switch out or stay the course.
Yeah. However we want to do
Cool.
this.
Sure.
Or if you want to come hang out with the newsroom.
Let's do
You're
it.
on, Jake.
Welcome back to KHTS Radio, where we are continuing our live coverage of the Charlie Kirk shooting in Utah. It has been a crazy, I want to say, over an hour or so. Thank you. Oh, 2 hours at this point. Goodness gracious, what a day this has been. I'm currently joined by Cardin Ellis of WardRadio. This was supposed to be the senior hour. Unfortunately, national breaking news. Here we are. What a day this has been.
Yeah, we were going to talk about a fun movie, Truth and Treason, about Helmuth Hubener going out in Angel Studios, and it ended up being a Kirk got shot. This is going to be something where you guys remember where you were when you heard about this for the first time. Some people are calling it a modern millennial RFK moment. Some people, that's me. No matter what you think it is, you're going to remember this day for a very long time. And I think it's actually, I don't know, this seems like it's going to be
It's been a very
a hinge moment that a lot of people look, because it's such a high profile figure
It is a very
that is
low
so completely political in nature. It's not. So anyway, here's what we do know. Just catch us up with what we know.
Yes, absolutely. Mr. Kirk was shot at about between 12:10 and 12:20. Hey, shout out to 12:20. That's us. This afternoon at Utah Valley University on the Orem campus, right as Mr. Kirk was starting his new tour, which is, I believe, the America Comeback Tour. So we are hoping for good news, but unfortunately, Mr. Kirk was shot in the neck as he was about 2 minutes into his new interview.
And they're saying that the shooting, and obviously I feel like this is kind of a guesstimate, came from about 200 yards away.
That is kind of what we're hearing at this point, which is something that off the air, me and Cardin were talking about. You know, it's Southern California. We're both familiar with firearms. It in our non-expert opinion, I agree with that. We were looking at the layout of where this took place. The shooting took place where Mr. Kirk was, sitting at his, prove me wrong, change my mind table, and then you see a shot come from off screen, and we agree that it appears to have come from a distance, possibly from the top of one of the buildings in the area. However, that is still very preliminary. We do know that one person came forward claiming that they were the shooter. However, since then, UVU spokespeople have now said, hey, there is no suspect in custody. So as far as we know, this shooter is still at large, and we know that a name is being thrown around and a man's identity is being thrown around, claiming that he is the shooter. That does not appear to be the case, considering the fact that we know that the person taken into custody earlier is unequivocally not the shooter. So please keep that in mind as you are on social media and as you are sharing information on social media. You are playing with someone's identity potentially. So please wait for the official ID before you start sharing someone's personal information.
And I think the big thing that has changed in the past, few decades is with social media. We were talking about this earlier, that everything is recorded now.
Everything.
And so there is video of this older gentleman that we're talking about being kind of carried off with law enforcement officers around him. And it's like, how do you stop that?
The thing that he supposedly, allegedly claimed that he was responsible for. So please, as a listener and as a reader, that's always something really good to keep in mind as someone who is imbibing media of any kind, is to be critical about it and understand that breaking news, we're learning it just as quickly as the law enforcement is a lot of the times. And unfortunately, with situations like this, it is so quickly evolving. I think, Carden, you compared Mr. Kirk's wound to something very similar to like
catastrophic arterial damage. Yeah,
wartime. And that's something I think that is a very good example of what's happening here, is that we are having up to the moment updates. And unfortunately, you can only roll with the knowledge of what you have, which in this case, what do we know? Mr. Charlie Kirk was shot. He was shot in the neck. He has been transported to a medical facility. We haven't heard really any updates since then. I've been keeping an eye out and trying to find more information on his status. But as I said earlier, we are going to be finding that out after his family. And as it should be, because we were talking about it earlier, he's got 3 young children, I believe.
Two young children, a 3-year-old, and a baby born in 2024.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Young family.
So we were able to actually talk for almost an hour on a previous stream with a woman by the name of Lise, who is actually there.
Yes.
And this is what we can basically regurgitate from our conversation with her. It seemed kind of like a normal day in the park. A lot of people showing up. Apparently, he made some positive comments about UVU and the student body and, members of the church surrounding the area and so on and so forth. Kind of some small talk that seemed relatively positive. She didn't mention any kind of feeling in the air or foreboding or any kind of chatter that she'd heard on social media about anybody planning anything. I know that on my show, WardRadio, we were actually going to talk about Charlie Kirk speaking at UVU because there had been a lot of anger online and specifically a petition circulating regarding him showing up. But we were able to look into that petition. It seems like there were about 6,000, less than 7,000 signatures, which is probably not hard to come by.
It's not, especially for an area that has, as we were looking at the population of just the college itself, is somewhere in the 43 to 47,000 range, which for context, I mean, the population of the entire Santa Clarita Valley is somewhere in the 300 to 350,000 range. So it's not a terribly impressive petition when you're talking about it.
Can we look up what Turning Point USA is saying officially? Also what Glenn Beck is saying, because he's very well connected. And he's claiming that, well, we know, we're not even claiming, we know that Charlie Kirk has made it to a hospital. Now, when you say that, that phrase can be all kinds of stuff.
Yes.
You don't know what that actually means. But basically, we can confirm that he indeed did make it to a hospital. Lise was able to say that she heard the shot. She saw Charlie recoil. She saw everybody flee and run. We were able to analyze the shot that seemed to come from his right as being something that didn't seem to be done. At first, I originally had thought that it was going to be a close quarters. With that kind of damage done to a body, it's either a very large caliber from very far away, or it's a smaller caliber from a handgun from very close. And with a tent covering him, it seemed to be difficult to believe that this was done like Lee Harvey Oswald style or even Donald Trump style from a roof. However, he was seated close enough to the front of the tent that it seems like maybe somebody from a higher point from farther away could have gotten a shot off. But he was shot in the neck. Unfortunately, with all of the blood that immediately left, I don't see how someone survives that. But if there's anybody tough, it's Charlie Kirk and he has made it to a hospital. We've been able to confirm that, but we don't know if that means he's been stabilized and he will pull through, or if this is another RFK tragedy. Jade, you want to say something?
Yes, absolutely. In this situation, I mean, we have absolutely seen, unfortunately, where I'm going to jump back to our own Saugus High School shooting, because that was something very similar, where we saw very similar wounds. And unfortunately, in this case, this was a immediate traumatic injury to a very delicate part of the body. And we do absolutely have to consider that this is going to take some time before they can even announce that they have stabilized him. This is not an immediate thing when it comes to medical treatment. When we had the Saugus High School shooting, we had kids who were under surgery for hours. And these were kids who were shot in the abdomen. They weren't shot in the throat. So this is going to be a very long time, I think, until we have any updates about Mr. Kirk's actual condition that can be confirmed.
Correct.
Okay, why don't we check out that article right there? I want to see what Glenn Beck is saying. Yeah, so we're going to check out, apparently right now we're getting some more updates. A lot of people were in very close quarters to this. I had personal friends that were in the audience, immediate family of those people that were also in the audience. So we're able to get what's, I wouldn't call it hearsay, but bystander accounts that all seem to tell a very, very similar story. Charlie Kirk was shot. There doesn't seem to be somebody like in the front row or very close up or obvious. It seems to have come from a little bit farther away. Nobody was immediately swamped, but somebody did come forward saying, I did it, demanding to be arrested, being very vocal. That person was detained, seemingly interviewed, put into custody by the cops, but now UVU has released a statement saying that, okay, the suspect is still at large, which would then lend a little bit more credence to this idea of a lone wolf rifleman somewhere else. So we do not know. We just know that it was a single shot that hit Charlie Kirk, and by now the video is circulating out there. We recommend you do look at the videos that are from further away. It might be a little bit more blurred or might be a little bit censored, because the ones from close up are brutal. There's no other way of putting it. It's live leak stuff. You want to say something?
Yes, absolutely. So we do have an update as of 1:31 p.m. So about 9 minutes ago, a law enforcement officer has updated the Associated Press stating that Charlie Kirk is alive but in critical condition. So that is good to hear. It has been quite a minute since we heard from him, heard about his status. So hopefully we will continue hearing about that. But once again, that is from a member of law enforcement. They have not been able to be identified because they're not allowed to technically officially come on the situation, but any information is good information at this point.
No, and also at times like this, you have to start just making logical conclusions. And the reason why this is a very good logical conclusion is because originally there was bystander accounts, and you and I both saw this video and we were aghast, saying, how does somebody survive that for 60 seconds? You know, but now he's surviving for minutes, making it all the way to the hospital. Yeah, you got something you want to say, Jennifer?
Well, I'm going to throw it to Jade.
Yeah, so we are going to take a break in a little bit here, but we
Okay.
are hearing a lot of different rumors about Mr. Kirk's status here, so we're going to try to work on confirming what is happening here, because we're starting to receive differentiating reports. So please bear with us. We will be back from our break as soon as we can, but this is, like I said, a lot of differentiating voices here, and we do need to try to break these down off the air.
Yeah. So, all right, we're going to take just a 2-minute break here and try and confirm what we can. If you're listening to us live, or a few-minute break, if you're listening to us live on hometownstation.com, we'll be back in a minute, or you can stay right here and just watch us try and confirm this stuff live. You get to see absolutely live how a newsroom works. So, back in a minute.
Okay.
Jerry Cook has confirmation. What news are you got?
Okay.
4 minutes.
Jerry?
All right.
Here's the report I got. Okay. Just scroll down a little bit.
John Solomon.
John Solomon
He's Just the News.
Got it. Okay.
And also Megan Kelly affiliate texted
Okay.
and said news is that he passed. And then
Damn
I had
it.
a person from my congregation call me crying saying I just heard he passed. So obviously
Okay.
news is getting out there. But I've checked all the major sites and they're not covering it yet.
What site is that you have?
This right here is Gateway Pundit. which is kind of like the conservative version of Drudge Report.
Yeah, well, we could probably put it on John Solomon, if anything.
Conservative version of Drudge Report. I didn't know there
Okay,
was more possible.
John
Um,
Solomon, do you know that name?
So you want to switch out?
No.
Yeah.
Do you want to stay?
I'll stay.
Jay,
I'll
you're
go.
I will-
Whatever you guys
I will
want.
switch out. You can always come back into the newsroom and talk later.
Jerry,
Okay.
in here, we'll go to the
So where am I headed?
I don't know, up to you.
So here, you want me? When you say switch out, do you mean get lost, or do you mean
I'm-
switch chairs?
Jay's
What are we
tapped
doing
out.
here? What are we doing here?
I am tapping out.
Okay.
You are gonna stick around and continue on
You
air.
wanna stick
If you
around?
want to stick around.
Sure.
And then Jerry, you'll take middle seat.
I'm on Just News, and I don't see anything there on it yet.
Yeah, I don't.
Which
either.
that means it could have been just hearsay.
All right, we're coming back in 2.5.
Excuse me.
Okay. So I'm gonna take a
Jerry,
1
take
minute
that one.
break. 1
Jerry,
minute
go ahead
break.
and take,
Yeah, take your seat.
And then that way, if you want to back out, want to stay, you can just.
Okay.
So much for my guest today.
Right?
He's coming in,
Jeez.
Oh,
but we're gonna talk to him about it.
oh, okay,
I already told him, so we'll talk about this.
okay.
So we'll real quick just go to the top of the hour, regular news. We'll have the break just so you guess, and
Yeah.
we can shut it down and then come back up with all your logos and actually your show.
Okay. All right. How much time do we have before we come back in?
So are we carrying Charlie Kirk show at 3 o'clock?
Ooh.
Because they would probably get a rerun because he was
How
on there.
much
and
longer
it's
do-
10 in the
Jen?
morning.
How much longer we got?
Sorry, I went way down.
You're at
Minute and a
midnight.
half.
No, not yet. I'm getting conflicting reports here that he passed. Are you hearing anything?
Yeah, I don't know if you want me just to drag music in, or what that 3
No,
o'clock.
well, yeah.
We'll
I'll
hold
figure
that
that out by
Okay.
the time,
Yeah,
when he's
okay.
talking in that way.
Confusing.
I'll figure that out. And then here, I'm
Okay.
going to shut everything down.
I just
then
don't.
Just run
My
it as a
Like
normal
a normal show.
That-
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you and I already know that.
All right, we're coming in 1
Hunters
minute.
like us know this stuff, and law enforcement guys like yourself know this stuff. All right, if you, I'm gonna
Okay,
wait
Brennan,
for
we're going to
Jennifer
talk
Van.
Cool. So Cardin and Jerry, we're going to go to 2. Then we'll be out, and then it'll be your regular show as much as regular can be.
And if you want me to bounce, just give me the high side.
All right, 30 seconds, guys.
Yes. Trump just did. Got it. Trump just confirmed he died.
Jesus.
Oh, crap. Okay, do we got something we can pull up? What is it, Truth Social?
I'm looking. Oh, he's not on X.
You want to start it off, Garden?
Your intro, or just saying what happened?
No, yeah, it's just a regular show.
We're just coming back in.
Oh, is this regular special
In
broadcast?
5 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back to an FM 98.1 and AM 1220 KHTS special broadcast. We are covering the now what unfortunately seems to be definitely an assassination attempt. We hope not an assassination, but we're getting conflicting reports here. So we're not going to say exactly what we know until we know exactly what we know. But Charlie Kirk has indeed been shot at Utah Valley University campus. It's basically, for all intents and purposes, the largest educational institution in the state of Utah, home to about 40 to 45,000 students, depending on the year and depending on the programs. 15,000 of them are about concurrently enrolled students. And he was doing part of his very popular Prove Me Wrong series, similar to Steven Crowder's Change My Mind series, and was shot in the neck. Jade, you got something?
Yes, I do. I do have a brand new update. We have our mainstream media as well as CBS News is now announcing that Mr. Kirk is dead.
Very sad.
Yes.
Okay.
And I would
Very sad.
absolutely, like, I know we've said it before, and I think I can speak for everyone in the room that our sympathies absolutely go out to his wife and his 2 children, as well as many of his friends who had to witness what happened to him today.
All right, so this changed the report at Utah Valley University. Presumably around 11:30 a.m. this morning, I started receiving texts from myriad friends who were there that, dude, this is bad. Charlie Kirk has been shot. By analyzing the video, it seems like he was shot from the upper right-hand side, receiving just catastrophic arterial damage. We do not recommend that you go look at the videos of any of the close-ups. There's going to be a lot of them floating around social media. Look at the ones from farther away because you get the picture. But he was indeed shot, carried away by 4 or 5 people to a local hospital. I had doubted while seeing the video that there was any way somebody could survive this. And it seems unfortunately he has indeed succumbed to his injuries. It was one shot. Fortunately, nobody else was hurt in this process. There was somebody who was claimed to be the shooter. We had a woman who was at the actual event, a friend of a friend, call in here at AM 1220 KHTS and describe the scene, saying that somebody did indeed say, "It was me, it was me, it was me," presumably 3 or 4 times, and demand to be arrested. However, that could have been mental illness, that could have been some other kind of situation. He was detained, but ultimately UVU released a new statement saying that currently the shooter is not in detention with the police and is still presumably now at large. Charlie Kirk did make it to the hospital, but as we know, JFK made it to a hospital as well, but soon succumbed to his injuries as well. We can confirm now, unfortunately, in mainstream media, as well as apparently Donald Trump has said that Charlie Kirk has passed. What do you got, Jennifer?
He's on Truth Social, as everyone knows, and he says, quote, "The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you." And as we've been mentioning before, Charlie is the father of 2 very young children. He had a child born in August of 2022 and a baby just born last year. So he's father of 2. Charlie Kirk, 31, appears to be dead, confirming that this afternoon. And we're also joined, by the way, with Pastor Jerry Cook. His show starts here, Politics in the Pulpit, every Wednesday afternoon, starts here at 2 o'clock. And Pastor Cook, obviously very well spoken in politics and an admirer of Charlie Kirk, joins us here this afternoon.
I have the pleasure of meeting him a little over a Donald Trump in 2024, also Pennsylvania. He and Turning Point USA had advocacy groups all over the United States of America during the 2024 campaign. And I believe that if it wasn't for his group and for Charlie's absolute fervor to see Donald Trump back into office in 2024, it's in my opinion, it would have been a much harder road for Donald Trump to have won in 2024. He's definitely going to be missed. This is also going to spark conversation about political violence and about conservative rhetoric. For years now, and again, I'm not trying to make this political because obviously this is a very, very sensitive topic and all this stuff is new. We really don't know everything or anything, frankly, about the assassin. We do know that he had a bent. We don't even know if he was a patsy. We don't know if he's a front man for something else. We don't know. But here's what we do know, that for the last several years now, the one political side of the spectrum has said that conservative speech is dangerous. And you're going to get a few folks out there that are going to start believing that rhetoric, and they're going to start acting on that. And it's very possible, again, that Charlie kind of picked up on. And it's unfortunate that an assassin's bullet took him out. He was a great and rising star in the conservative field. And might I just add, and I think it's important to add this, he was a Christian. He was a Bible-believing, God-fearing Christian. And I think that needs to be underscored as well as we go forward talking about this.
Yes. From a Christian perspective, I know you have a very popular Christian show, not channel. I always am speaking in YouTube nomenclature. But apparently one of the last conversation topics that he engaged in before engaging with the student body directly was proclamation of Jesus Christ being a savior and the necessity of the nation to return to Christianity. So that's all we know. Unfortunately, you heard it here first on AM 1220 KHTS at FM 98.1, and now also for those that are streaming on WardRadio and Jerry Cook's Politics and the Pulpit. that beloved commentator Charlie Kirk has indeed passed, succumbed to his wounds, and the shooter still at large. So I assume we're going to continue with our regular programming here, so on and so forth.
I'm going to step away for just a few moments, guys, but you, Carden, and Jen will have a lot of fun because I got to go take a call.
Okay, awesome. I hear you. So
Martin, we can go to break and we'll kind of reconvene.
yes, absolutely. Go to break. That's fine.
Catch your breath. All right.
We'll be back in a minute.
Cool. So we're good. We're gonna go. We had up until 2 because then it'll be his show.
Okay.
So no. Yeah, we just have.
Well,
Yeah. We can come.
Yeah, and now there's a car. Yeah, and now there's a car in the.
So we'll end the show. We'll go to the top of the hour, play news. Then it'll be Jerry's show. Then it'll be Jerry's show.
Stream.
Okay, Leo Zacky's here.